So, Honorable Sam George is having a face-off with one particular guy on Twitter or X called General Buhari. Now, you may wonder what has occasioned this particular banter, these exchanges, name calling, etc., happening live on Twitter. Now, just this week, two South African guys who came into the country and they are believed to belong to the LGBTQ plus community. And they did what is widely regarded as a desecration of some of our national monuments and symbols. And that is why there were a lot of people, calling out Sam George on Twitter, and I have the full gist for you. But before we descend into what is actually happening and then what this is all about, I'm still reminding you that this episode of The Heat is brought to you by Euclid Executive Boutique, located inside Cape Coast, closer to the CCMA offices opposite Vikandi Company Limited, and then closer to the Amama Chiefs Palace on the campus of the University of Cape Coast. See them, talk to them, call them for you to be sorted out when it comes to fashion. Everything fashion, they got you covered. The Heat is also made possible by Compound Care and Mowing Services. Now, contact them for everything pruning, everything edging, reseeding, fertilization, and, tending to your lawns, etc., giving your home a beautiful look. Now, without further ado, note that the Heat is on. You may be wondering why Sam George and this General Buhari guy are having a go at each other on Twitter. Now, as I indicated early on, it has to do with these two guys, namely Lue and Rue, who are South Africans. They came into the country on a tour. And after leaving, after touring, some of the iconic places in Ghana, talk of the Independence Arch, the Independence Square, Ebre Gardens, and then the Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum, and even Usher Fort, they left to their country. What did they do after they left? They started flooding their social media account with pictures and videos of their experience in Ghana. Not bad, right? But wait till you hear what they did. Now, amongst the pictures and videos that they shared were a couple of them that they were seen kissing. I mean, man to man, doing mouth to mouth, kissing themselves. And that was what, spited Ghanaians, and they started giving it to them. But what they said was, or what they did on the lighter side though, you people, you've gone back to your country, all right? But we have someone here who should have been policing our monuments and then, iconic places to ward off your kind from coming to desecrate these places. So don't worry, we'll deal with that person. We are going to give him some heat. Then all Ghanaians started piling heat on Sam George, mentioning him on Twitter posts, on Facebook posts, everywhere possible, every social media platform. He was just trending. People were calling him left, right, center, calling him out and doing all manner of things to him. So one may ask, if two gay people have come to Ghana to do their thing, to cause that kind of scene here, why do you people go after Sam George? Here's why. Now, if you remember a year or two ago, this particular LGBTQ plus issue became a very hot and debatable topic in Ghana. Why? Because Sam George and other MPs, were the sponsors of a certain bill, I think, the family value bill that sought to, mete out punishment and sanctions to people who engage in such act. He was one of the front runners and very vocal when it came to that particular bill on the floor of parliament and even on the media and everywhere. So people were like, hey, since you are the front runner, or you were the front runner, why not speak against what these people have come here to do? But later, Sam George posted on his X account and then gave reasons why he was silent on it. Apparently, he was on an assignment in the Volta region of Ghana, attending to Girls in ICT seminar. But take a listen to what Sam George posted on his X account. I have just returned to Accra from Ho in the Volta region, where I attended climax of our successful Girls in ICT program. I have seen numerous tags and posts about the abhorrent disrespect of our culture and values by two useless in quotes, by two useless individuals. The disrespect of our national symbols is despicable, to say the least. However, I am shocked to see the apologist of the MPP calling on me demanding action. What a shameless lot. We are where we are today without a strict legislation on these ills because of former President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo failed and blatantly refused to sign the Family Values Bill into law after Parliament of Ghana and the court had cleared the bill. You defended the immoral stance of President Akufo-Addo then, and today you want to pontificate? How dare you? I have, along with my colleagues in Parliament, resubmitted the Family Values Bill. It has gotten Mr. Speaker's approval and should be laid for first reading any moment soon. The values, morals, and innocence of our children must be protected, and he wrote must in caps. I would demand that President John Dramani Mahama sign the bill when we get it passed again. My position has not changed, but I think he wanted to write despise. I despise, or I'm reading as he has written, I despise hypocrite. Law enforcement must identify the two miscreants in the viral photos and apply the full rigors of existing laws on them for God and country. So that was what Sam Nati George posted on his X account. Then Chairman General Buhari came inside and then, threw the first punch. And this was what he said in reply or in response to what Sam George had actually posted concerning these two LGBT people. Let's gather here and laugh at this fraudulent minister. He was very sure and stated categorically that President Mahama will sign the LGBTQ bill, which was passed by Parliament. In fact, he said Mahama will know no peace until he signs it. But today, Pram Rambo says the very bill he said Mahama will sign is dead. Let's clap for him. I mean, General Buhari. what was the Pram Rambo for? Well, anyway, that isn't the main focus of this post. So this video General Buhari posted was in response to what Sam George had earlier posted, and it had a video of Sam George who was vehemently, speaking his mind concerning the family value bill. Take a listen.
President Mahama has been clear that he will sign that bill, and he has no option than to sign that bill. President Mahama will know no peace from Sam George until he signs that bill. And he himself has said that to the clergy, that as a Christian, as a member of the Assemblies of God Church, he will sign that bill.
So knowing Sam George and how, he can clap back at critics and people who he thinks are, not getting things right, he came back strongly at this General Buhari guy. And this was what Sam George said. You are unintelligent, else you would know there is no bill to sign, as the bill has been deemed dead with the previous parliament. But I am not surprised. GH70 intellect on display. Now, he had actually alleged earlier that this particular General Buhari guy is an MPP, guy, and then has been given 70 cedis to post some of these things on social media. So he was just making reference to the fact that he is an MPP full soldier and has been receiving money to post some of these untruth on social media, according to him. But I'm not surprised. 70 Ghana intellect on display. You have the nerve to demand a bill? You who opposed us and accused us of as nation wreckers, don't even dare it on this matter. That was Sam George for you. Now, just when we thought that, General Buhari will let matters rest, no, he also said, lie, he will just come back at this particular minister. He also replied Sam George, and this was it. I will ignore the name calling, since I am mature enough to engage without doing so. To begin with, the bill was never deemed dead, as you've ignorantly stated. The bill had been passed, meaning it had gone beyond parliamentary approval and now awaiting assent by the head of state. So Sam George came back again. Joker, you called me shameless and a hypocrite. What was that, appellations? You think after taking 70 cedis and they type the message for you to repost, you can open your dirty mouth and insult me, and you expect me to clap for you and sing hymns? That was Sam George for you. Violence begets violence. So whatever you throw at him, make sure you are ready for a double dose of whatever you give him. So this has been the banter between Sam George and, General Buhari on Twitter or X. And we are still following the story keenly as to whether these two individuals from South Africa can be extradited to Ghana to face the full rigors of the law. We are yet to know, but we are following the story, and whatever happens, we are going to bring it to your attention. But in the meantime, note that the heat is on.